G'day and welcome to A Life That Travels. I'm Rob Malicki and welcome to Western Sydney University's campus at Parramatta. I absolutely love this place. Let's go and take a walk around and see what this university is all about. As with all of A Life That Travels reviews, this is completely unbiased. I'm going to give you lots of good facts and information, and by the end of this video, you should have a better idea about whether or not Western Sydney University is for you. I've spent a couple of decades working in and around the higher education sector in Australia, and have literally helped tens of thousands of students have incredible experiences and build their resumes. So this is going to be a really awesome video for you. Let's go and check it out. This is like one of the learning commons, so it's a common space for students to be able to come and hang out and work together and the like. And the university's invested quite a lot in its buildings and infrastructure in recent years, not only here at the Parramatta campus, but also at many of the other campuses. So if you come to study at Western Sydney, you're actually going to find a lot of really nice new infrastructure, which is definitely a plus. I think everywhere you look, the fact that it went through this rebranding not that long ago really shows everywhere, because everything's kind of been polished up a little bit, and just with the new colours, the new branding, it really feels like an institution. It's got a whole new vibe. University is home to some 45,000 students across its 10 campuses, some 38,000 of whom are domestic undergraduate students, the rest being postgraduate. Quite a large international student cohort. And because of the demographic nature of this region of Sydney, it's a really diverse community here at Western Sydney. A lot of people who are first in family to come to university, a lot of people with different cultural heritages and backgrounds, which I think just creates a really wonderful melting pot that you don't necessarily get at a lot of different campuses and different institutions across the country. The university's done a really fantastic job in kind of harnessing that diversity across its different campuses, and you'll definitely see that in some of the different flavours and the way that the institution sort of handles itself in its various areas. Certainly something that's exceptional about WSU is the way that it's been innovative in trying to serve its student community. So a couple of years ago, it actually was the first institution in the country to offer iPads, a free iPad to every new student to help with their learning, which is absolutely extraordinary if you think about it. And in recent years, the university's actually started offering free textbooks to every student who studies here. Now, I can't stress how rare that is, and that obviously makes a massive difference. If you're not yet at university, spending money on textbooks can cost you an absolute bomb. Like $1,000 a year wouldn't be that unusual. So for an institution to actually commit to that level of expenditure, that much dedication to its students, really says something. Let's talk about rankings. University ranks around about like 18th to 20th in Australia, depending on the year and depending on the ranking system. And that's actually an incredible result for a university that has so many different campuses and serves such a wide community, out of about 40 Australian universities. So it's about middle of the pack, but once again, totally underrated in my opinion, because of the university's absolute success in understanding its community and really serving its community and serving the students really, really well here. On a global scale, university typically ranks inside the top 2% of institutions worldwide, inside the top 400 universities in the entire world, depending on the rating scale that you look at, the ranking scale. Now, something to remember about rankings is that every university is different, and you need to be really careful about looking at one single ranking and thinking that that should determine whether or not you should study at a particular institution. A university might not rank that well overall, but yet in the particular discipline where you want to study, it might rank incredibly well. There might be a handful of fantastic professors. The converse can be also true. It might rank incredibly highly, but in the area that you want to study at, maybe it's not so strong. So you always have to look at the details of the rankings. Now, the best place in my view to go and find out unbiased information about an institution and how it performs is the Australian Government's Quality Indicators of Learning and Teaching website, the quilt.edu.au website, which actually has data from every university in the country and it's feedback from real students who've actually studied here, broken down by discipline. So if you want to study business at a particular institution, on the Quilt website you can actually drill down, look at that institution, look at business and see what students have said about studying business at that particular institution. So definitely it's worth the time jumping on the Quilt website, and if you're thinking of studying at Western Sydney, checking that out. You can see it's like around about the winter time here, and leaves are coming off the trees, I should say, not the trees coming off the leaves. So it's actually just a beautiful place to spend time, sun's shining, and this campus has got the most wonderful vibe, outdoors, really scenic, plenty of open space. It is just a lovely time to chill out, a lovely place to chill out and spend time as a student, really relaxed kind of vibe. Now, because Western Sydney's Parramatta Campus is a little bit outside the centre of Parramatta, you've got a couple of different options for getting here. They've actually got minibuses that run between the campus over the road here and other places. So it does allow you to get around the actual campuses themselves. The parking here can be really difficult. So if you're not here first thing in the morning, getting a park on campus can be really challenging. There is a train station not too far away, short walk across the other side of the river. And for you to get into Parramatta itself isn't too difficult. It's relatively well served by buses. So overall, not the best campus in terms of transport, that's for sure, but also not catastrophic. It certainly wouldn't be one of the factors that would stop me from coming to study here. The institution is comprehensive. Not everything taught on every campus, of course, but across its suite of campuses, you can certainly pretty much study any discipline that you're interested in, whether that's business or law, through to the humanities, social sciences, law, medicine, nursing, midwifery, you name it, you can pretty much study it here at Western Sydney. And that's kind of as to be expected for an institution that has such a huge geographical footprint. And definitely, like, if I were growing up in this part of Sydney, or thinking about coming to this part of Sydney, I'd have no hesitation to come and study here. Like, remember that the degree is basically what gets you an interview, and it's all the other stuff that you do at uni that's going to really get you the job. So if you come and study at a place like Western Sydney, not only should you be thinking about the classes that you're going to be studying here, but also think about the other things that you can do outside of the classroom. You know, whether that's participating in clubs and societies, whether it's doing like an exchange or an international short course, something like that while you're here, or looking at one of the many other opportunities that are available. Those are the sort of extra things that you do while you're at uni are what really make the difference when it comes to getting a job downstream. Oh, it's a spectacular afternoon here on campus. And I've got to say, I really like this campus for Western. I mean, obviously when it's a beautiful winter's day, I'm wearing a jacket, but I'm way too warm. It certainly shows a place in its best light. If you have any questions or comments about what it's like to study here at Western Sydney, please drop them below and I will reply to you. And as always, really helps me out if you'd also subscribe to this channel, subscribe and ring the bell. That'd be amazing. And if you do end up studying here at Western Sydney, I really hope you're going to have an amazing experience. I'm Malicki, and I'll see you next time on A Life That Travels. See you later.